Hey, welcome back, guys. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. It's going to be a today's love tarot check-in. So we shall begin knowing that this is going to center around the topic of love and just see what we get here. We've got the Five of Wands. This could be somebody who's kind of like thinking themselves in circles, trying to figure out what's going on in a situation. We could have a divine masculine who's kind of shadow boxing himself, trying to figure out what to do or what went wrong or what he should do next. We have the Fool card upright and the Two of Wands sideways. Hi guys, so great to see everyone. I feel like with the Fool card here, he may be thinking about taking this big old leap forward. He may be thinking about taking a jump, pursuing something, making something really happen. With this Two of Wands sideways, there's definitely the kind of like the question mark of, I want to do this. Should I do this? He may be looking at photos of this feminine. I don't know if she's got a pet bunny or what, or if this is a sign of like good luck and good fortune. But when it comes to the desire to, you notice that we have maps all over here. We have letters, we have, open letters, closed letters, all of this, and moths and butterflies flying forward. It's like, I feel like we have a masculine trying to decide, do I quit staring at her pictures and actually make a move toward her? If I do, then what? Are we pen pals? Do I travel to see her? What would happen? What would be the next step? If I reach out to her, then I got to be prepared for whatever the next thing would be that I would do or say. Hi guys, so glad you guys are all here. This is a 10 of Pentacles here and the 10 of Wands next. Tens are completions of cycles. This is him obviously wanting to, I feel like he's torn in half, right? He's torn in half because he would want to come back home to, in this case, like the Hobbit house that's in the mountain here. And then the other side of him is saying, God, it'd be great to actually just get to the point of knowing what's going on. Maybe she doesn't want me and I'd have to make peace with that, but maybe it'd be better to just know what the answer is. So I feel like there's a little bit of, he doesn't know what she would think. And it could be, heaven or hell, right? This could be wonderful, or it could be a situation where, it wouldn't work out at all. We have the Lover's card upright. Lover's card is, man, he's hoping, he's wishing, I hope she wants me. Now, we do have the elephants here, which I always associate with memory. So is this somebody from the past that he's thinking about, reaching out to again and wondering, is that why he's so worried? Like, should I reach out to her? Obviously, he's been staring so long at these pictures of her that he almost believes that they're real. Sorry, I'm quoting that song by The Cure. But there is this element of him staring and thinking, wondering what to do. Let's change decks. And there it is. I'm going to say there's one specifically that's in my head that I absolutely must use. Okay, here we go. Two of Swords. She doesn't know any of this is going on. She doesn't know any of this is going on. Hey guys, happy Tuesday, y'all. World card in the reverse. She doesn't see new beginnings here. She doesn't see anything changing. She's totally oblivious to all of this. Please remember, she could be a he. This could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, doesn't matter. It's just that we saw a feminine there on that Two of Swords card. So that's what prompted me to say that. You know what's crazy? She doesn't know he's thinking of her at all. And yet she still remembers him. Six of Cups. She even, somewhere in the back of her mind, she wishes he was coming back, but she doesn't see him on the horizon. She doesn't get any indicator of this. Definitely there's something about not being able to see something. Maybe it's because, we started out with him over here going round and round in his mind. So even his, am I going to do this? Am I not? I feel like he's waffling too much. It's hard to read somebody's intentions and know what they're really going to do when they themselves don't know what they're going to do. So it's like she's not even picking up on like a vibe from him, even in that, that strange energetic connection that, we all share sometimes. she's not able to get a read on that either because he's not sure what he's going to do. So I can see why we would have, by the way, she could be a Capricorn, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Also, I mean, she could be a water sign, but I don't think that so much. On his side, he could be a fire sign, maybe a Gemini. I don't get any of those strong enough, though, for me to say that that's, I think this is what he is or what she is. It kind of, to me, looks more like we're talking about where they're at, but not who they are, if that makes sense. So she still thinks of him as a soulmate. What do you want from him in a perfect world? 3 of Wands and Empress. Right here, right now, she wishes that they were in some happily ever after. It was a serious connection. Empress energy, not somewhere down the road, no waiting, no. It's almost like she's hungry for a connection right now, this moment in her life. Let me ask this. Why are they not even together right now? Because he's thinking so heavily of her, wondering if she would want him. She's over here definitely wanting him. So why are they not simply together? I don't see where the problem is. I don't see where the issues are. We have the Lover's card upright. Lover's card, I mean, maybe because you're the snake, and of course we have the serpent on this card, which is very unusual. You don't usually see a serpent on the Lover's card. I guess once in a while if it's intended to be like temptation, but here it's definitely more like the transformation. So I would just say, and the difference between night and day, like what they needed to change in their lives or what they needed to change in themselves. I think that's the bigger reason they're not together at this moment in time, or haven't, connected, haven't been together in this moment in time. We have the Star card. It is sideways. That is something about the distance between them that needed to change. This could be emotional distance. This could have been, unhealed energy that was keeping a wedge between them. But they're not together because obviously something had to change. I mean, really dramatically, like night and day difference. Can we get a closer look at what that was that needed to change? Ace of Wands. Well, I mean, again, it would look like decisive, passion and desire. 7 of Wands. Okay, so unfortunately, the way I look at this is he had to get himself in a place where he was ready to not have blockages. He needed to be intentional enough to say, I don't care if there's problems. I want to be with her. I don't care if there's, distance and this and that. There's really nothing that would keep me away from the person that I want. He needed to get to that level of, like empowered energy. And it's not saying that he didn't have enough desire for her. It could have been that he felt he had other things that were, kind of like prohibiting his ability to move forward. We got that 4 of Pentacles. All of this says he had way too many things that made him hold back. At this point, he doesn't want to hold back. At this point, he wants to come forward. But we still see him as indecisive. Wondering, does she even remember me? It's been so long. Let me ask this. What you been doing while you've not been getting beyond those blockages? Justice card. Okay, so I don't know if him... Sometimes we sit and we stew in the problems that we face and we don't move forward, and that produces a problem that, like increases, becomes bigger, exemplifies. And when that happens, we're not able to move forward. And then things actually, like the ball rolls downhill, it gets worse. Because this says he's been paying karma. He's been sitting in that Justice card, strong Libra energy there. What does that mean? It's sitting in, 3 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say it this way. If in the past, this is a tough message to deliver, but it almost seems like if in the past he let there be problems that made him say, you know what, I'm just not going to overcome the hurdles. if he tapped out instead of fought for this, and that in turn like broke her heart, then he's been paying the karmic debt for having caused her emotional grief. If I mean, it's basically like the universe is saying you were supposed to overcome the obstacle. Why didn't you? Since you didn't, and instead you only factored in, hey, it'd be easier if I didn't push through, even though it's hurting her. If you didn't consider that you were causing a lot of grief to another person, and you could have alleviated had you pushed on through whatever the supposed boundary was, then you got some karma for that. And it almost feels like he's been sitting in what I would say is just a lot of acknowledgement that he hurt somebody that he loves. No wonder he's not sure, would she want him back at this point in time? Can I just ask, so we can better understand, why did you not push through whatever the obstacle was? 8 of Wands sideways. I don't know. Maybe he didn't want to talk to her about whatever he perceived the obstacle to be. 2 of Wands. Again, it was about choice, but he didn't want to make a choice. So he plunked his bum down and just sat there holding a map, but not making a decision. You know what? This all simply feels like huge amounts of procrastination. And maybe that's why, because there wasn't a good enough reason for this other than, I don't want to call it lazy. That sounds super rude, but we got that Page of Wands sideways again, right? Unfortunately, he still has this card and he still seems like a master procrastinator. He wants to know, does she still want me? I can't stop staring at her pictures. I'd like to take this leap toward her, but I'm wondering if he always kind of does not move forward. Can we switch up and ask, universe, do you want to give a message just to her? Empress, Last Judgment. They don't call it judgment here. They call it Last Judgment. The Hermit, the 10 of Wands. So I can't interpret this any other way other than how I see it. The universe says to her, whoops, sorry, I re-picked up that 10 of Wands, which is fine because we have the 10 of Wands here too. The Empress, or excuse me, the universe says to her, what would an Empress do? WWED. Would. What would an Empress do? Call time on this. I know we see this we're inside of a volcano and we've got this phoenix that might be rising from the ashes and might be exiting the top of the volcano. But on the other hand, maybe it's just going to hang out in the volcano and fly around in there. At some point, she needs to call time on this and understand that maybe they prefer to be alone and they like the fantasy of, I love this person, someday I'd like to be with her, but maybe they're going to circle around and around and around, in this case, Bryce Canyon or inside of a volcano. And they're always going to be, maybe they like to live in the space of someday. And does an Empress live in the space of someday? She doesn't have the luxury of that. An Empress has an empire to run. If she wants to have a long-lasting connection with somebody, it might be time to surrender the idea of it ever being them. I'm sorry, I know that sounds very rude, but if he still is out here on the hermit's journey, if he's made zero effort, and once upon a time when he could have been with her, he also made zero effort. He continues to think about her, want her, but makes zero effort. Then there's really not, an Empress cannot count on things that are not there, because I like to turn an Empress into the idea of, she runs an empire. She has lots and lots and lots of, land, and she has to be a good steward of the land. And then she has lots and lots of people that live in her, her empire. And she feels a sense of like responsibility for the planning of, what crops are going to be grown and when we should do those things. And, let's make sure that our empire is prosperous, and let's make sure that the people in the empire, live wonderful lives and have, access to clean water. And, it's a community where everybody actually is living a good quality life. When you've got all those things to think about, the current and the future and the progress and the planning, you don't have time to mess around with somebody who's wandering out there either hiding out in a volcano or running around by themselves in a canyon, not contributing to the empire. You also can't count on them. You can't rely on them. So maybe it's time to cut them loose and be like, maybe they're a wounded cheetah who wants to go rest underneath, a rocky overhang, or tuck themselves into a cliff and be somebody who dreams of what they'd like to have. But if they're not coming down from their rocky cavern here, or their volcano, to come into the empire, then they're not there even for your assistance, much less to contribute. So maybe it's time to just say, I think that they're the person who, there's a ton of potential, but they are either nursing wounds that are inside themselves, or still on a silent journey, and they're not a part of my empire. And if I want my empire to be successful, and I want somebody in my empire, then I probably need to chalk them up as, they're not here, so I can't count them as roll call. I can't count them as somebody in the empire to nurture, to give to, or to expect anything from, because they're not here. It is, you don't need to do the roll call anymore because they're not there. And I'm so sorry. I know I'm being very abrupt about this, but she said what she would like is a long-term partner now. But she doesn't see them coming toward her. And all throughout this, we've seen the consistent message. Oh, he dreams of her. He fantasizes about her. He wonders all the time, should I come forward? But he's always getting the same cards. Two of Wands sideways. I don't know. Should I do this? Should I? I don't know. Should I? It's like he knows she'd be wonderful, but it keeps feeling like he just wants to know, does she care about me? It feels very juvenile, to be honest. And I know I'm not giving a whole lot of, compassion and understanding. It's a little bit that I don't know that I fully understand still, why the blockages, why he wanted something, but then apparently didn't know if he wanted it enough to open up an avenue to pursue it. Instead, he kicked back, sat back on his haunches, knowing that I feel like he more or less abandoned this connection, caused her great grief. And that's the part where I'm like, I don't really see him being in a place where he thinks too much about what others' needs might be. It always seems like he gets trapped in this indecisive, perpetual, I don't know energy. Is that Two of Wands again? I just don't know what to do. I think this to me makes perfect sense, that it's time to let this one go, because nothing has changed. And the reason they're not together today is because things needed to change dramatically. But what we've seen is presently nothing's changed. So with that in mind, then, universe, do you have a message just for him? Queen of Wands. What does that mean? We can see that this is the one, right? This Queen of Wands is the one. Ace of Wands. You're never going to meet another one like her. That's what the universe says point blank to him. You will never meet another one like her. Even here, they're focusing, drawing the circle. I didn't do that. It's on the card. Focusing the energy on the stomach. That's very much like Empress energy, the womb. Out of all the millions of lights and beautiful people that you'll meet in this world, this was your one. That this is the one you'll spy on for the rest of your life. You'll always want her. That. Maybe that's why they won't go toward her. They won't really connect to her because they've got so much desire for her. Maybe that's something that they don't know how to handle. Knight of Swords is here, which would be the universe is saying point blank, she's it for you. You're never going to meet another one like her. You'll never want another person like her. But you need to make a real snap decision right now if you're letting her go, or if you're racing to her as fast as your feet can carry you, as fast as your arms. You need to sprout wings and fly to get to her right now. And you kind of know it because you're out of time. What does that mean? Is he going to do something, something to make this happen? 5 of Cups, Chariot. The universe is just simply laying it out. This is your missed opportunity. And there's no going back after this. Or you go now and hope it's not a missed opportunity. But this whole procrastination thing, hanging out where they're really, I don't know why he keeps staying in a place where you notice there's all these bones. There's nothing left where he's at. There's no reason to keep hanging back, but he keeps doing it anyway. And the universe is like, then you lose. That's it. This will be, it almost seems like he's been sitting in a place of like sorrow. Maybe this is somebody who gets to feeling sad for himself sometimes. And look, everybody goes through sorrows, everybody has losses. That is so legitimate, and we all have a right to grieve. But the universe is like, but in you giving yourself this endless space to focus on whatever you've been sad about, means that's all the space that you live in at this point. There's really, it's so long ago, whatever you were sad over, that it's too late. But in the meantime, you're about to be sad over a new wonderful missed opportunity chapter of your life. This person, like, why sabotage? Why sabotage the fact that, I don't know if they're still crying over some ex that didn't work out or something like that, but it feels like that was a long time ago, whatever this was. I know it sounds like I'm saying they just need to get over it, and I don't mean it that way. If this person is not there, then that's fine. They can remain wherever they need to be. But the universe on this storyline is saying, just know it's your choice. This is the one person you're never going to forget. And it's the one person that we are calling time out now. You don't get any more opportunity with her. If you're not ready for her, then this is where you say, that's it. It's adios. You won't have another opportunity with her. So I gotta say, I mean, I think that's even here. What we saw with her is like, it's time for her to be Empress energy and call it time and start looking towards something else. Do we see an outcome on this? Do we see an outcome? The Knight of Pentacles. This is slow moving. And the one thing he doesn't have is a luxury of time. This is like, he needs to be done with whatever holding back, and he needs to be able to make decisions, and he needs to move toward her. He's at that moment in time. I almost feel like, there's like a coach, like kind of an old school, like football coach or something, who's like, come on, get in there, come on, you got this, you know how to do this. What are you waiting on? You're a good player. You know how to play. What are you waiting on? And I just feel like, if he's like, I just need more time, that's the one thing. There's no more time. You're on the team or you're not, because if you don't want to play, then that's all right. You don't have to play. But whatever he seems like he's holding himself back. And the coach is over here saying, don't hold back. You got this. You can do this. We got the Two of Cups. The outcome here is, I've got to say, I think she may move on from him still fairly slowly, but there is a Two of Cups in this storyline. I don't know that these two end up together, only because I don't see him making a move swiftly enough. If he does make a move swiftly, then they might start slowly building, and they are indeed a Two of Cups. We could look at it that way. But again, everything hinges on how swiftly he moves toward her. If he doesn't, then she definitely ends up with somebody else. But it'll take time for her to build that level of confidence with somebody else. Last card for her. Ooh. Knight of Cups. It's definitely time for love, and it's definitely time for... We've got like this ice cube that has like a piece of, I always look at it as like if somebody like makes melon balls and puts them into ice cubes to, make some fruity punch or something. The ice cube is melting. The yum yum in the middle is eventually going to be liberated. There's something here also that looks like Yellowstone and like, the brilliant colors that we see around different hot springs, like, geysers and such. There's a definite, like, we'll say, thermal shift going on, maybe in her heart, because I think she's been secretly waiting for them for a long time. And either she's going to stop the waiting and move on and allow somebody new in her life. Like, she may have put herself into the ice cube, because she was waiting for him. And this could be that she's thawing out because she's really ready for connection and serious connections now. But first, she's got to be able to like recognize that other people are hitting on her and stuff. So I don't know. I'm really more heavily leaning toward her ending up with somebody else. They still have a shot. They still have a shot, but they have to like get moving like now. If they don't reach out like it pretty much in the next 24 hours almost, that's that's probably going to be about it here. They have to just Geronimo their way into her life. And if they're not ready to do that, then of course, no reason to do that. But it does say this is that turning point where they might not be ready in this lifetime to be with her. And if that is the case, then this is the moment where they're missing the opportunity. They'll have to come back around next lifetime. Or they can make this happen. But you know what it is? She's ready for partnership. And she certainly, I think, has given plenty of time to give them the space in case they were ready or not ready. And that time has just run out at this point. So, all right, I am going to leave this here, you guys. Thank you so much for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I really appreciate it, you guys. You have no idea how important that is. More important now than ever on YouTube for any of the content creators. If you enjoy the free content that is produced, giving it a thumbs up, subscribing, those are free to do, but I cannot tell you how incredibly necessary it is, especially right now. So thank you guys. I'm so grateful. It's the only way my channel can continue, and that is incredibly important, more than it's ever been. So thank you guys. Rhonda, hi. Hi, Delinda. Hi, Lori. Ambiently me. That's spot on. Ambiently me. I know that's exactly how that character kind of came out, huh? Rachel's Magic, EM. Thank you for being here, love. Hi. Farrell Rust, awesome to see you. D. Rogers. Jeannie Vale, wonderful to catch you today. Moonlight Shadow, thank you, love. Hey, Travis, great to see you. Delinda, always a pleasure, honey. RS, hey. You're so sweet. Thank you, RS. Artemis Oracle. Hi, Mon. You guys, thanks again. Wonderful to see you. 11D8, you're cracking everybody up. Thanks again, EM. San Juanita. I hope everybody's starting out their day really well. Sweet Carolina. Shout out to you in London, mate. Thank you, Rachel's Magic. Sunflower, Moon Power, excuse me. Contented Tiger, hi. It's Jenny. Rhonda, I'm so glad you made it to alive. Unique to Freaks in the house. Wonderful to see you. Happy Tuesday, hun. True Canadian girl. Shout out to you in Canada, love. Brele. Denisa. Decoded. Nope. Oh, honey, are you in a heat wave? Oh my gosh. Well, I'm delighted to see you, but I'm sorry that you're in the midst of a heat wave. Sending you cooling thoughts and energy for sure. Violet, Q Miller. Hi, Sheila. Welcome, honey. Welcome to your first live. Holly Embry. Hi, hun. And Brittany H. Great to see you also, love. You were first in the house. You even beat Violet. Or as Violet says, you tied with her somehow. You guys are so adorable. Hey, AC. All right, you guys. Rhonda, I love that. Hey, Sassy Saggy. Oh, how cool. You've got a lovebird on your lap. That is so awesome. All right, you guys. Lots of love. I'll see you guys soon. 11:08. Thank you, sweetie. All right, I'll see you guys again. We will be doing quite a few different zodiacs today. I'll also be doing another video later on tonight on this channel. Thank you, guys. Q Miller, you're adorable. Anna Boyle, hi, sweetheart. All right, guys, take care.